to welcome Miss Dr. Pearl Yellowman. She is such a phenomenal person in so many ways. She herself is a Unity alumni and then works closely with staff. We call on her expertise for various things. She's really humble, so she won't boast on herself. But a lot of our programs that have been developed here at Unity, we consult with her all the time and see what her expertise has been from her consulting background, but also as a counselor and a behavioral health mentor and a wonderful auntie. So without any further ado, I will introduce Miss Pearl Yellowman.
Thank you, Lauren, Ashley. I just want to make sure you can all hear me okay? Okay, excellent. Well, I know we still have staff joining. We still have members and advisors joining. I'm seeing some familiar faces popping up, so it's good to see everybody. It's good to see that you are all keeping safe and that you are all keeping healthy as well in these times. And I know that we are relying on new platforms or tools to stay connected. So while we are waiting for additional participants to come in, I do see some familiar faces, and I do want to call on a volunteer to help start this session. This is the first advisor session and webinar that Unity is hosting online, to start in prayer. So is there an individual out there who would like to start our first session with a prayer? Michael, Gary, Lauren, Ashley. Okay.
Hi, my name's Hannah Hazigal from Fort Belknap, Montana, and I'll say a little prayer for you guys today, for all of us. And hang on.
Lisa?
Hello, everybody. This is Teresa.
A day wakan tonka peju gubi we are here today, Creator. It's like to ask for blessings for each and every one of us today, and the ones that can't join today too, you know, Creator, that you bless them and their home fires. And I just like to ask the Creator to put us all together so we could help our youth and help our communities to grow, and especially with our new way that we have to deal with now, Creator, that you just guide us and help us put things together so we can keep going on this walking of life here, that this new life that we have here, Creator. And it's like to ask for blessings for all our medicines and all our animals out there, and our weathers in each and every place like that, Creator. And I just like to ask for blessings for all the COVID families, that, you know, they stay strong and they fight this so that we can, you know, stay among one another like that, Creator. And it's like to empower everybody's prayers out there, Creator. And it's like to thank you for blessing us and bringing us together in this beautiful day like this, Creator. Pinami.
Thank you very much. Thank you for that prayer, and thank you for offering the prayer. I have lived in Montana for many years, and my children live in Montana, so I hope to be up there very soon when things are a little bit more allowable. Before I get started and before we get to some introductions, I do want to share a little bit. If you're new joining Unity as an advisor, or you're sharing your screen with others, we thank you for participating and tuning in. But Unity is a great organization, and Unity feels a little bit more than an organization. I think after 40 years, Unity is more of a movement, and our founding founders or founder wanted the youth voice to be heard, and wanted the youth voice to be heard and acknowledged, and to rely on youth for leadership, and to rely on youth for planning for the future. And I think many organizations try to achieve that, but Unity has set the tone for that, set the standard for that, and since then has been a little bit more of a movement. I say movement because many aspects of my own life have been shaped by those words by the founder. And I know many of you have been part of Unity. I was just trying to think in my mind. I think I've been a part of Unity now just about 30 years. And so that's a significant amount of time on my life and my children. So I'm very appreciative to Unity. And I think of all of the memories and principles that stand out when I was a high school student or a youth. I think those are those same principles I rely on today, working for my own nation's government and working with leadership and state agencies and even national leaders. So I'm very appreciative to Unity and Unity staff. Unity has this large ripple of reaching out to people, and a large ripple of connecting with people. And many of the names and faces that I see on the screen right now, we have connected and have been friends for many years. So I'm glad to see some familiar faces, and glad to see some family members out there. Unity family members is what we say. I do want to kind of go around the table, if you will, and just have individuals just kind of introduce yourself. We'll do a little check-in. I want to call this a check-in because this has been a strange year, to say the least. It has been an upside down year. And before we go and dive in a little bit more, I just want to make sure that we are creating a space, virtual space, and we're connecting virtually here through this media and tools. And we're kind of creating a space where we can share any of the COVID-related matters, youth council-related matters, and family-related matters as they relate to working with the youth and working with our community members. So I do see some familiar names, but I just will call, or I'll let you volunteer, and if we can have our host just allow the platform to go on mute. But if you all could just check in and share that your name, maybe the youth council or the youth council you're an advisor to, or the tribe you represent. So if we could go around and have some introductions, that would be great. Thank you.
I'll start first.
Okay.
Good Tamju. This is Greg Mendoza. Good afternoon. First of all, thank you for all of you for being on this fall series webinar for our adults. I've been a part of Unity since 1985. I currently work as a staff member for Unity. I'm the Fund Development Manager, and I've served on the Council of Trustees for over 20 years. So again, I love everything about Unity, and I love everything about what you're doing for our young people. And I was an advisor just like you, and I know what it means to be an advisor. And it's probably the best job I've ever had, and working and molding and mentoring all of these awesome Native American young people. So again, thank you on behalf of Unity, and just looking forward to hearing some good dialogue. Thank you.
Thank you, Greg. Next, anyone else?
Bonjour. Can you hear me? Bonjour in Shinabeg, Nijunang Indigenous cause, Mang Adudem. Gajwa Squad Magag and Dujaba, Wawi Gamug and Dujaba, Mang Adudem. I just opened up with the name, our Anishinaabe Moen. It was called the Ojibwe language. And just to introduce myself and the name that was given, and also my clan, and also identified where I'm from northern Minnesota up on the Leech Lake Reservation. So I'm more of an advisor as well. We just got involved with Unity here pretty strongly in the last 3 years. So we were able to bring a large group down to Denver, San Diego, and Orlando. So we're looking at attending New York. For some of our students have never been there, but unfortunately, COVID hit us and put a halt to everything. But we're still here. Our youth are doing well. Some have graduated. Some are continuing resembling that leadership position. But I'm working in a different field of work right now. I'm working in the judicial system for our Leech Lake tribal courts right now. But when we do get up and running again and able to, I told the students that, you know, I'm not going away. We'll pick it back up. But we're just hanging in, being safe, just getting on these virtual meetings and conferences. But kind of the work is on hold right now. But continue our medicine use of our practices, really kind of opening up, kind of learning more of our medicines and using our medicines in appropriate ways. So with that, again, we just say, I say miigwech, thank you, and be you. That's it.
Thank you, Gary. Good to see you. I might just start calling on some names. I see Michael Preston.
Thank you, Pearl. Can you hear me all right?
Yep.
Okay, yeah. I didn't want to go after Greg, so I was waiting for somebody going between us to space us out. You can only handle so much at Gila River. So good afternoon, everyone. My name is Michael Preston, and I'm the Youth Council Coordinator for the Akime'atam Peepash Youth Council. We're located on the Gila River Indian Reservation community, and that's South Central Arizona. And I've also was on Unity a couple years ago and part of Unity, and it's definitely impacted my life for the better. And I want to give every young person the opportunity to have that same experience. So I'm just glad to be here. The primary reason I came is so I could heckle Pearl and make it difficult for her to present. And then the second reason I came is because I always learn from Pearl. And so just here to learn from everybody, to share my experiences, and then also to network as always. So thank you for allowing me to be here today.
Thank you. Thank you, Michael. Good to see you. John, can we go to John?
Hi, I'm John Leland. I'm the primary advisor for the Wajaji Youth Council, representing the Osage Nation in Oklahoma. I'm here because this is our first year to not have our budget funded. So I've got to get some fundraising ideas. I mean, the whole fundraising deal is going to be new to my kids. So we're kind of in a bad spot right now. And I mean, a lot of people are with COVID. So I'm going to have to really pay attention and get some pointers from everybody. And then I'm just glad we're doing this for getting all the adults together too. So hi, everybody.
Okay, thank you, John. I'm okay if all those who just heard John start a chat conversation on the side. If you have any recommendations for funding that could be helpful to Mr. John, I'm okay with the conversation starting on the side, and then he could start to kind of jot some of those recommendations. Maybe they've worked for you in the last few months since we've been under certain restrictions and public health orders. So if there's anything that could help John, let's do that. And then we'll come back and loop around to some of those recommendations here after we complete our introductions. So thank you, John. I see Matt that popped up. So Matt, do you want to do a quick intro?
Yeah, my name is Matt Bucknell, and I work here in Grand Ronde, Oregon for the Confederated Tribes of Grand Ronde. And I see a couple of my coworkers are on here too. My first involvement with Unity, I'm a newbie. I went to Phoenix right before this whole thing hit, or actually right when it was starting to hit. And I just had a mind-blowing, awesome experience. Since then, I've transitioned out of my position with elementary education, and next week I start with our youth empowerment and prevention team. I will be the teen pregnancy prevention coordinator. So wow. Working on a bunch of different things with other team members, but I'm really excited to be part of this. And I got an email a couple days ago that said this was going to be going on, plus a whole bunch of future ones. And so I'm rocking and rolling and ready to go.
Awesome. Awesome. And I like that background of yours.
Thank you.
Okay, awesome. That's good to hear. How about Shannon? Shannon, are you able to do an intro?
Good morning. My name is Shannon Stanton. I'm with Youth Council Advisor Coordinator. I'm from Confederated Tribes of Grand Ronde. I work under Youth Empowerment and Prevention. Tobacco prevention is my my job. I am also on here with my team, and we're all working together to mentor our youth council. We had 7, now we have 9. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Shannon, and hi, team. I also see Ursula. Ursula, you want to join in and do a quick introduction? Maybe we can loop back to Ursula. We also have Mary Kim joining us. Mary Kim, are you able to provide a quick intro and a few words?
Hi, everyone. It's really good to see some of your faces and see some of the names that are on this webinar. My name is Mary Kim Titla. I'm the Executive Director for Unity, and I'm super excited that we're kicking off this 8-week fall series. We've been getting some really great feedback. This is an opportunity for our advisors and then our youth in the youth track to connect and talk about some, issues that have been on their minds and that they're dealing with back home. So I just want you to know that Unity is alive and well, and we have had youth councils joining us even during the pandemic. So it's really encouraging to know that, tribal communities still see that value in creating a youth council and having them be a part of the Unity network. So we're doing the best that we can to provide the support mechanisms to not only the youth, but also the adults. And thank you, Pearl, for taking on this first webinar, and to all of you for participating.
Thank you. Thank you, Mary Kim. And I bet Michael Preston's saying I'm being the guinea pig here. So no, I'm just teasing. Thank you, Mary Kim. And can we maybe hear from Roberta, and I want to say Angie after that. So Roberta. Okay, how about Angie?
So you'll see when we call on different people that a button should pop up and it says asking you to unmute. So if you're able, feel free to come back in whenever you're able to go ahead and join us.
Okay, how about Rosetta?
Good afternoon. My name's Rosetta Walker, Sikangu Lakota from the Rosebud Sioux Tribe in South Dakota, living on the Akmil, A'atam, and Pipash lands here in Tempe, Arizona. And I'm a community elder supporting all the programs that uplift the Native youth in their culture and keeping of the traditions of the land. Here to listen and support. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Rosetta. Good to see you. I see Snoop. Oh my God. I see Snoops and Sparky, and it just dawned on me who that is. Okay, Snoops and Sparky, can you identify yourself and give a quick intro? Okay, maybe not. Okay, so if you're joining us and you're able to unmute the button, please feel free to share a quick intro. Some of the things I want to make sure that we cover in our 1 hour span here is I'm going to put this out on the table to you all. And Hannah, can we come back to you real quick for our intro? And we appreciate and thank you very much for the prayer. But can we come back to Hannah for an intro?
Hello, my name's Hannah Hadzigal. I'm from Fort Belknap, Montana, and we have 4 districts, and I live in a district in the mountains. It's called Lodgepole, and we have Agency area, Hayes area, and the Dotson area. So I work for the suicide program. We were called Empowering Inner Strength. Now I'm switching over to a cultural coordinator. So we have a program here called Tawahi, and I see in my job description that we got to start working with our youth, a little group, which I have already organized here where I'm at, and I'm glad to be here and listen to all your great ideas. And for John Leland, I just love to fundraise.
Oh, good. We'll make some connections there.
Yeah.
I want to put 2 and 3 questions out on the table since this is a talking circle hour. I want to get a good, better idea as to how COVID-19 impacted your youth council, and then if there's any stories that you want to share. This is kind of your time as well for you, stories that may have, or COVID that may have impacted any of your youth individually, while preserving their identity, and then how COVID has impacted your youth council's function in the last several months. I'll turn that over to members of the call. Please feel free to jump in. If your picture's live, you can raise your hand. I can call on you next. But anyone want to share those questions, or go ahead, Michael.
I know it's kind of all COVID related. What was the first part of it? I can cover it on that one.
One is how COVID has impacted the function of your youth council, and then the other one is while preserving the identity of any of your youth individuals, how COVID might have impacted a individual in your youth count or your community or youth council. And then the third one is how it might have impacted you.
Okay, so definitely we were right in the middle of our busier season. So one of our programs, we do an annual event called Gila River Close-Up, where we invite 30 Hill River High School students. So it doesn't matter where they go to school, just the high school age, to a 3-day event where we teach them about tribal government. And so we actually canceled that because it was right when everything was starting to climb. And so my wife is actually the tribal health director. So she gave me the word like, hey, you definitely should cancel this. So it changed that. And then our community kind of went into lockdown mode. And so it pretty much canceled everything we had planned for the next 2 months. And so at that point, everything came to a stop. And then when we realized this is going to be long-term is when we started looking at what to do with our annual youth conference, which is held every July. And we have around 350 to 400 youth participate. They attend. And so we were just looking at a format or a way to do it virtually. And so we just, we worked with our local broadcasting company and we put together a virtual youth conference. And we tried all kinds of different things. We did skits, we did video.
Michael, you're kind of coming in.
We utilized Zoom experience today. So did I catch up yet?
I was like, wow, you're always doing something really cool, like with your audio. I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
Yeah, I have this voice changer thing on this end. I should tell my kids to get off Fortnite right now because I know it's their break, their fall break. So they're like trying to get all the Fortnite in. And right now, this week, we just tried everything we could to make it work. And right now we've been doing virtual workshops. So the biggest change is adapting what we do in person, which is tons of fun and hands-on. And that's how it's best for everybody to learn, to virtual, which is definitely, as you guys know, it's challenging adapting what we do in person to online. The best thing that we've done is try to keep it as interactive as possible. And what I realized in this with our youth council members is they're kind of put into two categories. It's those that are wanting to do the work and continue to move forward with our events and giving them the tools to work collaboratively online. And then the other group is just supporting those who have a hard time dealing with everything going on. We have members that are definitely with the Black Lives Movement that are very, which is a lot of our members. And so it's providing the support for those who are ready to keep working, and then providing support for those who are just trying to get by day to day. And so that's really affected, I see, my role, because I'm so used to just working on the let's get work done, let's motivate them, push them, as opposed to let's just keep them able to manage every day.
Right.
And so just trying to fulfill both of those roles.
Very helpful.
And I think that's it.
Lauren Ashley on the
so go ahead.
chat.
I'm good. I think.
Thank you, Michael. Lauren Ashley on the chat. Can we just add that there's the national, I think it's these national occurrences that need processing, and how our advisors help the youth process some of these national occurrences with some of the riots or dealing with the country's response to COVID. And we may discuss some tools for our advisors in helping the youth process some of those larger conversations. And then,
yes. And then I'd also like to request, Michael, if you're able to If any of the other advisors were interested in viewing your virtual conference and how that went, do you have a link that you could drop in the chat box? Or is that available to view?
The youth conference?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I charge you though. It's $1 per view. So I'll just charge it to Dr. Pearl Yellowman. So you guys watch as many as you want, and I'll just send.
So one thing that stood out
Yeah.
and might be helpful to other advisors on the line, you said we're just transferring everything to virtual workshops, virtual presentations. So if we can note that in this chat box as well, and just transferring into a new form of visual tools. And then Michael, if any advisors have questions, feel free to put the questions on the chat box and we'll come back to that. Do we have another advisor that would like to share or respond to the questions that we put out on the table?
Hi guys, my name is Brian. I'm sorry for joining late. I got quarantined this week and I haven't been feeling the best, but I did want to make this call, so I'm mostly just going to listen.
Okay, Brian, do you mind just telling us where you're from and if you represent a youth council or a youth council advisor or?
Yeah, Siona God, Brian Barlow, Talco Janelle, Tosco Sud, Yawadatiad, Jijology. Good morning, everyone. My name is Brian. I'm from Talco, Oklahoma. I don't advise a tribal youth council here, but I am the advisor for our Native American Student Association at Northeastern State University. And I also advise the American Indian Science and Engineering Society with one of my coworkers. And I also co-advise American Indian business leaders. So hands in a lot of pots, but just I really echo what Michael was just saying about there's the students that have it in them to go above and beyond and push to do the work they're normally doing. And then we have our students that it's, you know, if all you got is to get up and go to class today, I'm here for it. And, you know, and I think that's a really important dichotomy that Michael outlined. So yeah, that's a little bit about me.
Thank you, Brian. And Brian, on the chat box side, I'm going to ask Lauren Ashley just to put some resources or some tools for the college age youth councils to see what we could do to kind of have maybe a similar discussion for college age organizations who are also experiencing their own separate occurrences of being on college campuses and having to adapt either virtually to their college classes or organizations and functions. So let's note that. So thank you, Brian, for joining us. Yeah. Do we have any advisors that like to share some of their current circumstances or responses to COVID as far as their youth council? Okay, John.
Well, when the COVID first started, we did the first 4 months, had virtual meetings, went really great, actually had more participants virtually than we do in person. And we even had a special election. And, you know, we started back in July, kind of a hybrid meeting. What would you call it? Anyway, I set the computer at the end of the table and the ones that show up in person were there. So the camera's on us. And so far that's working pretty good. But as far as, you know, the projects we had planned, we've had to just put those off. We were wanting to do we could still do the cooking class, but it's just the kids, here in Osage County, they're back in school full time. And actually I just got a message that the whole softball team's quarantined. So next week we go back to virtual, and I mean, I mean, kind of hurt a lot of things. Like I said earlier, you know, our budget didn't get funded. Now, we're written into one of our grants that have the MSPI grant, and we actually wrote the youth council into the grant. So we do have some federal dollars, but we have, and right now I mean, just kind of doing what we can do virtually. And it just, it's new to everybody, really. So, I mean, we're kind of trying to make the best of it. And right now it's about to get pretty bad here where we're at with softball team, because they've been in contact with everybody. And I mean, it could go from just the kids at school, but I've got 3 of the girls in my youth council that are on the softball team. And we had our meeting last Saturday. Then we did a zombie run. So they have been in contact with a lot of people. And I hate to be the guy that has to tell the parents. I mean, that's, we do masks, we hand sanitize. I mean, we take all the precautions, but it's just, you can't be safe enough. And I mean, I'm at a loss really you think everything is going good, and then bam, like this just hit yesterday. So we're
right.
Okay. Actually, that was the mom of one of my softball girls.
So John,
yeah.
John, I just want to remind you to breathe.
This all just hit me this morning.
And if the mom's still there, we can offer some prayer right now.
She just walked out.
Know that we're supporting you.
It's frustrating, really. I mean, and it's for everybody, really. Saw one of the softball coaches as a youth pastor here in town. So he, of course, other than the softball team, he's been around all the youth at church. Then they go home. So, and I mean, it really is, it's kind of it's an eye-opening deal to realize once you start thinking about how easy it can spread.
Right.
I never really put a lot of thought into it, because I come to work and I go home. And it's, once it got this close, it's kind of really, I mean, I like to say it is what it is, but it's,
Right. Well, community spread and acknowledging it and addressing it is real.
Yep.
Practicing the CDC guidelines are important. Making sure that you are in a position where if you're educating or communicating with parents, if we, on behalf of Unity, can offer any type of support or be an ear to you, we definitely can do that. There may be other advisors who have experienced something similar. John, I am still working in a health command operations right now, and providing direct COVID relief to my nation right now. So definitely understand the feelings of some unknowns. There's a lot of unknowns, but also relying on medical expertise and public health officials, and making sure that if you are in a position to reach out to any type of public health officials to help continue educating your youth council, because they are out and about in their community. So how you can mitigate, and that's very strong. Not only is it a strong word, but it's a strong action. And mitigating and mobilizing your community is really important when some of these upticks happen. So I can provide you my email and we can communicate through Unity, but I would be more than willing to kind of help share some resources as well.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Go ahead.
We also have some people who have communicated through the chat. So thank you, Ursula and Angie as well. We've heard Ursula share hard to reach the youth via email or phone calls and having to cancel events. I'm sure we've all went through that as well. And then we also have an answer. How do we adapt to the changes? We're still learning. So thank you for those.
Okay, excellent. Thank you. And that's very helpful. I kind of want to shift gears a little bit because we have an allotted time here. I did want to make sure that we gave an opportunity to advisors on the call here, the opportunity just to speak on the real issues that are impacting us now. It's one thing to continue to maintain operations in our job, so to speak, and then we have to also be our awareness has increased. We have a heightened awareness now of living in this post-COVID world or during this pandemic. Our youth also experience quite a bit and internalize that as well. In shifting kind of some gears here, I also want to ask the advisors for some helpful tips moving forward to help shape these upcoming webinars for Unity. We have all been on conference calls for the last 5 or 6 months, and some of the bumper stickers that would probably be most popular now is *6 to unmute or the unmute button is on the bottom left-hand corner. That's what I hear almost daily, all day long. But in order to help shape these adult advisor webinars moving forward, I could use some feedback from you all on the call as to what would be most helpful in maximizing the webinars and these Zoom meetings as Unity starts to shape these. Any recommendations or feedback?
I know I only just showed up, so I feel like I don't have a lot of ground to stand on, but from what I have been here for the last 15 minutes or so, I honestly just appreciate the space to talk to people who are dealing with similar circumstances. It's been a really hard week, and John, I feel you. I'm just down here in Tahlequah. I don't have as much interaction with parents as you do, but it's tough. I think sometimes it's important just to know that everyone else you're not the only one struggling, and it's important that we give ourselves grace and give each other grace. So I just appreciate the space. It's helpful.
Thank you, Brian. Thank you, Brian, for that. Any other offering words to John and Brian as well? Go ahead, Michael.
Yeah, Brian, you don't have a leg to stand on, so you can just keep yourself muted.
Bye, Michael. Thanks.
It's good to see you, Brian.
Yeah, I wish we could be running the conference game, getting all the free food.
I know so. If you guys don't know, me and Brian, we're the food people. So we have our connection going there. We find free food. That's our whole goal in life. Because when we attend a conference, where's the free food?
Michael knows.
Michael, do you have anything helpful? No, I'm just teasing. Michael,
never.
Do
I just came on here to see some adults. I mean, I just see with my own kids. We're doing school stuff. I'm working with youth council kids. I'm doing virtual workshops with kids. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go on here to heckle Pearl and talk with other adults. But no, I do have a couple of things that we're utilizing and that I like. And from from what I do, because I do youth council stuff, and then I have my own side hustle where I do stuff with adults and departments. And in there, they love the interaction. And for our youth conference, and I actually felt we utilized this, was Kahoot. So you guys might all be familiar with Kahoot. And that is a really great application to use. It's affordable. There's a free version, and you have limited amount. It's like an online question type of online questions quiz that's interactive in real time. So we could all take the quiz, and I can share on my screen everybody on the leaderboard, and you'll see the questions, and they answer through their mobile devices. So I really like Kahoot. Another one is a Mentimeter, and that one's really good as in getting real-time collaboration and feedback. So it's also, people could have put in their own comments on what you're talking about. A new feature where you have quizzes as well. And when you take the Mentimeter quizzes, I play these stuff with my friends on the weekends. So we'll do stuff, I'll create quizzes. I create custom quizzes for departments. So all the employees will take surveys, and then based on their surveys, I'll create quizzes. And then throughout there, I'll put like a quiz question, and then the next question will kind of highlight a department or an activity or something. So it's like quiz, fun, who knows who. And so, so the interaction makes a big difference. And
that's so true. I seen Mentimeter at a conference, at Gila River conference, education conference. It was an excellent tool.
yeah, they got that from me. So you know how humble I am.
I thought so. And then I was thinking, oh, you have friends on the weekends?
I lied. You got me. Pearl got me. I just made that up. It's my mom. It's my mom. My brother. I'm trying to think what else we use. I also asked the students for what games. So one of my former students, he reached out to me, and he's going to a local college, and he was telling me Among Us is a game that they all play, him and his friends. And in there you can chat, and it's I don't know if you guys played it, but it's, oh, I like that. So I try to find out what they're playing and what they're doing, and then see how we can incorporate that into our activities. So even our last youth council meeting, some of us jumped in a game and we played Among Us, and you can play up to 10 people, and it's an app on your phone, and you're pretty much, there's alien imposters and they killing people, and you're trying to find out who it is, but there's a conversation in there, and it's engaging. So even though it's not specific to professional learning or development, it's being able to talk and have fun. And then even after we stopped playing, we got back to our meeting, we were able to talk about the game. So it's just kind of adapting to stuff they do.
I really like that, Michael. And I don't want to put Hannah on the spot here or anything. Hannah, are you still with us? But my kids live in Montana, and some of our areas are high isolation. So when our youth are home self-monitoring, or when our youth live in rural areas, and then there's community curfew. My community still has curfew. I'm particularly worried, so to speak, as to how we can reach some of our youth who are highly isolated, and how we can draw them in with some of these tools. So any feedback or comments on that?
What we've been doing is teaching them how to use the Zoom. I just went ahead and bought my own Zoom, and kind of bought a webcam, and we, before the COVID hit our community right here, while we were like taking the activities that we were doing and putting them on their doorsteps, and the ones that wanted to join, and we gave them the passcode to get into Zoom. We did activities through Zoom, like the Teresa hanging on my wall. We made those, and we did rock painting. We did cubes with pictures. We just did a lot of activities through Zoom. And now that our COVID is kind of getting worse, we can't do that no more. So we put up a talking circle through Zoom, and we have it every Thursday night. And we just, you know, like we're doing now here, we just let them talk on whatever they want to talk about. You know, some of them cry, whatever they want, it doesn't matter. And we don't ask questions or we don't say anything. We just like have them pass the stick, you know, like a talking stick. So we have like about 10 or 13, which is a good number for the first start. Yeah, COVID is pretty getting bad here, so everybody just staying home. And before that, we were, all the kids were like doing community stuff as we cook before the right before the COVID, we cooked breakfast for the community and we invited people in to come in, and they had a ball doing that. And I have these huge jumpy houses where have 9 of them where I put them up for fundraisers or, you know, birthdays. We rent them out, and that's kind of my fundraiser to buy stuff for what we need, like stuff for our garden, or a kid's needing something, we use that money for that. But now I shut it down because of the COVID. When it first started, I let them go take the jumpy into their yard, and only they got to use the big jumpy houses. But that's what was one of my fundraisers. We did a lot of garden activities, like planting and harvesting and a little bit of everything. All the youth would participate. In my area towards the mountain, it's more cultural than at the other districts. Other than that, all my kids are like, one lives in a city, so she's kind of like the president. So I called her yesterday. I said, we need to do a Zoom so we plan something for our kids and see what they want to do. Keep in touch with one another through that. So yes, COVID it's here now. So like I said, our kids are on virtual schools now. We have 3 schools. They're all shut down. They're on virtual for the 2 weeks now till they start find the tracings. But yeah, it's terrible with, you know, like John says, it's tough. But we got to learn the new tough, you know. The new tough is we can't be right there for one another. Right now there's a funeral going on and nobody can go. You know, we have to, it's just family. So those been hard too. So a lot of our elders got the COVID now. But they're not right from our districts. They lived elsewhere, but they caught the COVID, and then they're bringing them back home to put them down. Other than that, everybody's staying home, like we said. The new thing is Zoom.
Right. Thank you, Hannah. Any supporting words to Hannah from the members here, comments or feedback?
Pearl, I'd just like to offer some support to each of the advisors. Each of you touched my heart. So as someone personally who is living and thriving, testing positive with COVID, and my mother and my grandmother previously tested positive, and still planning for our communities and working, remotely. I just want to say what a huge support it is to have people like yourselves who are continually reaching out and just offering love and support. And I just want to thank all of the advisors for what you're doing, because it doesn't go unnoticed, and especially to those who, you know, are in the unknown. Or I just want you to know you're not alone, and that you have Unity family here who we are continually, you know, brainstorming and searching how we can better support you all. And I'm just so grateful to be a part of this network. So thank you for what you're doing. Mhm.
This is Greg. And again, on behalf of Unity, we want to thank all of you for participating. This is our second webinar in our fall series. And again, as Brian mentioned about wanting this space, yes, this space is so important. You know, we have heard from the advisors during this time period, you know, that there's a need for adults to come together. As Michael pointed out, you know, he sees young people every day, and he has 2 sons that are very active young men, you know, in his family. So again, you know, we need this time. And Brian, you look so familiar. NCI?
Yeah, yeah. And you
Awesome.
working, are you still for education for Gila River?
I'm now working for Unity now.
Oh, cool.
I work as their fund development manager.
Awesome.
But,
Yeah,
but
was
yes,
it TO or was it Gila River?
Gila River.
It was Gila River. Okay, awesome.
Good to see you, Brian.
Yeah, good to see you too, Greg.
But again, I just want to thank all of you. You're so important to the Unity family. Without you advisors not getting, I mean, we count on you to bring your young people to our meetings, whether it be mid-year or national. And we know it takes a toll on you. You know, I'm one of those, you could say I'm a professional advisor because I've been doing it for years. I know the tricks and trades of how young people deal with issues and et cetera. So and when I left my post at Gila River, Michael Preston took over that job, and he's doing an awesome job. So again, it's good to see you. And on behalf of Unity, thank you.
Thank you, Greg. Thank you. We're going to start to kind of wrap up here, but before we wrap up, very similar to how we went around with the introductions, but I am going to ask each and every one of you, 1, just take a deep breath, and 2, please share 2 things. I was going to say 3, but sometimes 3 can be too much, but 2 things of self-care that you will do today for yourself. For me, I try to drink water. If I can't get out, literally my days are 10 to 12-hour days. And now it gets dark around 6:50, 7 o'clock. And there's a transition when the night maintenance crew come in to clean the building. They let me know that they're in the building for my own safety. That's how late I most days stay, and it's hard to even get out and do some exercise. So I try to drink water. That's about as much as I can do for myself. And then my other goal is to get some rest. So I'm going to turn over to you and ask, what will be 2 things that you do for yourself today? Greg, I'm looking right at you, so maybe you can go first.
Okay. Well, I already did that this morning. I ran 4 miles. I am so happy that my gym is open, but my gym uses the CDC guidelines. I have to wear a mask. It's unfortunate, but again, it's all about protecting each other and those around us. So I ran 4 miles, and I'm eating raw almonds, which is very healthy, okay? And water. There you go.
Excellent. Thank you, Greg. Okay, next.
I'll go because mine is super funny. I love being at home in Florida with my family because they have a small family farm. So when I get too overwhelmed and too stressed out or too anxious, I go and I hold bunnies. We have little rabbits, and so I sit there and I hold them and I sing to them. And it sounds so funny, but they really calm me down. If you've ever been around a rabbit, they are just so relaxing to be around. So they are my new gurus. And so I meditate with my rabbits.
Can I make a quick recommendation? So with the adult webinars going forward with the self-care items, can you all post yourself drinking water or doing the self-care items on the Unity Instagram or some type of Unity social media?
For
Yeah.
myself, I do 2 strategies that cancel each other out. So I exercise, I do training, I train year round. And the other thing is I cook. So they cancel each other out. Like I'm just even. I'm not getting more fit, but I'm also not getting more fat. So that's my 2 things, cooking and training.
If that's self-care to you, Michael, you look great. We'll accept it. Excellent. Brian?
Yeah, today I actually made myself a real meal. I boiled some chicken and I made some chicken soup and I made some rice. I added some avocado and some tomato. And actually made myself something good to eat and could feel proud about it. And it was rice that my mom grew, and so it was and tomatoes that she grew, and so it just felt good to make myself something good, because I do have a hard time taking care of myself. And then the other thing I'd like to do is go down to the creek and just kind of hang out there and just listen to the water a little bit. Usually helps.
Brian, last week I was gifted some corn, piñons, and some meat. And when I was packing them out to my car, I realized they were all medicines. And I took it in, and it provided healing to myself and my body. So sometimes those foods are homegrown, your mom's rice and vegetables, that's medicine. So
thanks.
Anyone else? Next.
We have some postings in the chat. We also see Matt. He says, I will be taking a long walk with at least one person in my family and our dog. I also have a healthy meal planned. Games, VR games. We also had someone else share. Shannon says, take a walk with my coworkers on our break, eat healthy, and drink lots of water. Yeah.
Mary Kim, you also ran 3 miles today. Well done.
Oh, wow. Wow. Okay, thank you all. How about Gary? Gary, you want to share? Or
If you guys do purchase.
Michael, we're purposely putting you on mute. You're going to have to type in. No, just kidding. Michael, what were you saying?
Okay, I'll go. Again, miigwech for everybody. And, I think what was really key earlier is this is my first time with the Unity, and other than catching the emails and all the postings. But I really want to say that I feel really the connection to be here with you, and for some of I've seen some faces before and new to others, but I think this is really an awakening for me to, we're here on Leech Lake. We're in a unique situation. We deal with 5 public schools and 1 BIA school, which is the Buckinegishik. So it was challenging enough to recruit and to work in these 5 schools. Now it's even more of a challenge, and I have not even, I may have reached out to maybe 10 students. We usually bring anywhere from 27 to 37 students down to the conference. And it's this COVID has really put everything on a standstill up here in northern Minnesota. And some of our schools are virtual, and some are rotating every other day. So, And then of course we can't even go into schools. I'm working here and I can't even meet with my clients. So I mean, there's a whole array of challenges, but I think for me to look at where I need to start, I think this is my starting point to reach out and try to face those challenges head on and do our best. And I think it's going to be really slow, and I have to anticipate that. But I think just meeting with you and Unity again, we heard earlier, it's changed my life. It's something that I wish I would have been involved with growing up, but I wasn't. So here I have this opportunity to spearhead and help coordinate and orchestrate the involvement of Unity. And that's what I have been doing for the last 3-4 years. It's a wonderful experience, but I just want to say thank you all for allowing me to speak here. And we just got done ricing. We are out gathering our wild rice. And that was a wonderful experience. I was laid off from March right up and through end of August. Came back to work for 2 weeks, and I took some ricing leave off. And so I just got back to work again 2 weeks ago. And so it's, it's challenging. It's just something we have to adjust to, and I think learn and lean on each other. It doesn't matter how far you are away. It's just I think we're all in this together, and I that's what Unity is about, right? So I will be looking on, maybe calling on you guys from time to time for some help and support, and that I know, which I'm very fortunate, I guess, to, other than, I have my own family tree here. I have my own collective of people here that I lean on, but it's always good to reach out. And I know, think positive. We will all meet and be together sometimes down the road, but for now, we have to adjust. But 2 things. Walking, I love to hear that. Michael and others that are, and Greg, I need to do that. I think I've gained a few pounds from the point on, from March through where I'm at today. But I'm a very determined person, so I think I'll be. I think I look up to Greg and Michael there for what you guys do and how to keep it. And Pearl as well, drink water, which I do anyway. But again, just leaning on you, looking at you, looking up to you guys. And I think it's just, that's how the circle works. And rest, lots of rest. With that, I say miigwech.
Okay, thank you, Gary. Gary, I think you mentioned something regarding facing some things that advisors have to face, either some harsh realities of taking care of some things, or facing some hardships in our jobs now that we're in the pandemic. I'm trying to think of a way that we could help all advisors prepare for that, or what that might look like for Unity to help move forward with our providing some support for our advisors. I'm going to chew on that a little bit to see what we could do to shape that, and to see what that would look like for advisors if we were to have this talking circle for advisors and dedicate some time to identify what some of those hardships are for advisors, and what we could do to help just kind of be that support or foundation for some of the advisors. I'm going to kind of think about that a little bit more. So thank you. We have exceeded our hour here, and I would just want to kind of shift turns here and gears to wrapping up But I appreciate wholeheartedly everyone's participation, everyone's time here joining in. If there are any participants who want to provide some closing comments at this time, and I know some of our participants have kind of been multitasking as well, but I just want to give some time to participants who haven't shared. Just some time, let me know that if you want to join in or share anything as we start to wrap up. Okay.
So thank you guys. Yeah, thank you. First of all, I want everybody to give Pearl Yellowman a virtual high five. So all you do is clap and high five. There you go. And I do want to call on our fearless leader, Mary Kim, if she'd like to end with any inspirational words. I do want to let everybody know we will be here same time, same place each week for the next 8 weeks. So we hope that we can be this family and connection and share space. We will have different talking topics, and I've dropped a link in your chat box. So if you can click on each of the topics and register for those in advance, you'll receive reminders in your emails. But first and foremost, we acknowledge that you are human and you are spirit and you are flesh, and we just are so grateful for your gift that you give the community, that you are a caretaker, and we commit to our self-care goals. And then we also want to thank our sponsors, Comcast and then Nike and Seven, who saw the importance of needing to bring together advisors and Native youth advocates and really seeing the need for this. So without our sponsors, we wouldn't be able to do these things. So thank you to them as well. Mary Kim or Josh or Greg, if you have anything else, if you guys. Thank you so much, Pearl Yellowman. It's always a pleasure.
Thank you.
And then we came up with a fun hashtag. Is hashtag Unity Advisors Rock. So post a photo of your self-care, even if it's just drinking water or cooking or doing whatever you do. Post a photo to Instagram and use hashtag Unity Advisors with an S Rock.
Awesome. I like that. Okay, so we'll close up here. I want to thank everyone for joining today. And I want to thank everyone for all that you do in your community, and also all that you do in your own home. We're in a time now where everyone is needing to be safe and making sure and ensuring that your safety is a priority, and then taking care of those around you. And we need that from each other. Your youth council rely on you as well to help them understand what's going on around us. And then our elders too as well. So I have an 83-year-old mother who I have to remind her to be safe at the post office, and she likes to socialize at the post office. So our world has changed, and part of coming together here every week is, although our world is changing, there's some unknowns out in the world, you can count on being here every Thursday, being in a safe space here every Thursday, and sometimes too, just taking a time out from the craziness that is going on outside and focusing in on some of these controllables is good too for us as well. I definitely rely on my Unity family. I rely on advisors, and I miss the advisor training this year that could have happened in DC. But your safety comes first. Our safety comes first. And and we will prepare for next year in Texas, I believe. So until then, we're meeting every Thursday. I do want to see your self-care. I want to, for you, putting your self-care is very important. So with that, I want to say ikihat to Unity. Thank you very much for always thinking of me and including me in all the cool things. And to our host and to all who joined, I want to say thank you very much. And we will see you down the road virtually as well. So continue to be safe. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.